T-Rex, we probably should have put your jacket on this morning. It's kind of chilly. It just stopped snowing. It was snowing right through about 6 a.m. And for the first time in the year 2025, we actually had a couple of raindrops mixed in with about 7 inches of snow yesterday. It was interesting because it drizzled at 9 a.m. Then it snowed really hard, a few inches in the middle of the day, and I thought we were in the cold. And then it rained a tiny bit at 5 o'clock. Fascinating weather system. That weather system has now deepened to a 987 millibar low pressure system, a storm over the Gulf of the St. Lawrence. And combine that with our leftover record cold high pressure system that was over Montana a few days ago. It's over Indiana now. It's a 1039 millibar high pressure system. And so what is wind? Air moving from that high into the low, and it goes round and round right over New England. And at the top of New England this morning, at Mount Washington at 7 a.m., it was 10 degrees below zero, and the wind was gusting to 131 miles per hour. That's the most wind we've seen on top of the mountain in probably 4 or 5 weeks, I think. You know what day it is? Somebody's already out here in the snow. I heart snow. Day 46 in a row of New England snow. And the wind isn't so bad right here. And I got to look out the other side of the building here just a short time ago. It's 7:30 now. The view at 7 a.m. did show that snow up at the top, and still snowing a little bit. But the good news is the Over Easy is running. So I'm going to get on that Over Easy. It's a travel day, so I'm only going to be able to ski for a couple of runs. And it's going to be a quick edit. But we have 3 more systems in the pipeline there over the Pacific Ocean. And that one in the Western Pacific is a 945 low. So they're all lined up, and wait till you see the output, not just for this weekend, but for a week from now. There's a legitimate chance that the strongest storm we've had this winter, or even in a couple of winters, that's not even including yesterday and what happens this weekend. This weekend we get snow, rain, and ice right on top of all the old snow, rain, and ice we got yesterday. So we're creating kind of a wintertime swamp here in the Northeast now. Fortunately, up here, it's mostly snow. All right, T-Rex, take care of business. Got to go up, do a couple runs, and come right back out the door. And that's all I got was a couple of runs. It's 10:30 in the morning. Before I go out this door, I want to show you a couple things here. This is pivotal weather, and this is the forecast for a week from this morning. And that's a 967 low and a 1043 high. Talk about wind. And I also want to show you the weather.us meteogram for Boston. With this event coming up, and you can slide along here and see all the specific numbers, including the precipitation. And the precipitation that goes from snow to rain this weekend is 1.5 inches of liquid equivalent. And then if we go along and see next Thursday, which is just a frigid storm, it goes from 1.5 back up to 2.6. So 2.65 inches of precipitation in the next 7 days. And look at the temperature next Thursday morning. It's 10. And then with the storm, the temperature is only 23 in Boston, and the wind is gusting past 40 miles an hour. So that's for next week. What about this weekend? Let's go out the door and do some more weather. Wow, the snow cloud is building already once again, and we've had wind issues here today. We went up the Forerunner, and it's running, but you'd be halfway up there and you get a wind gust of 45 miles an hour. And a couple of people on the lift said, "Is it been an exceptionally windy winter?" Yes, it has been an exceptionally windy winter. My microphone audio is probably changing. I'll try and just leave it like that, because when I zoom in, it changes microphones. You all know that, right? So there's this is called Mount Mansfield, and it's actually got the profile of a man. That's the nose, and then it's got a long space between the lip and the chin. That's the chin over there, and there's a trail right over there called Chin Clip. I'll zoom in, talk a little bit louder, and we have more than 80 inches of snow up on our mountain, and we're going to add a couple of feet over the next week. All right. So I forgot to mention this morning it was only 2 degrees. We were all bundled up, and had a couple of good runs. I took Bob out into Chapel Glades, and there was no wind in Chapel Glades, so that was really good. The weather is changing so fast, and the next weather system is really on our doorstep right now. Let's look at the map for tomorrow morning. Look at all that action. There's literally blue from about Lake Placid all the way across the country to Park City, Utah. Just a huge expanse of major winter storms that have come in off the Pacific and caused major damage in California yesterday when this thing came ashore. Oh my goodness, this is so sad. This is Malibu, California. Some of the area that survived the fires was ravaged by flooding and mudslides. Duke's, very popular restaurant, survived the fire, and then it was a flash flood mudslide with people in the building. I don't know the rest of the story. Got this off of Volcaholic. He's a volcano enthusiast that posts all kinds of fascinating weather from around the world, and he's been talking a lot about the United States lately. I showed you earlier the parade of storms coming in off the Pacific Ocean, and they are incredibly powerful. Most of this winter, I've been talking about how it's not so much strong low pressure, it's the strong high pressure that has caused all the wind in the Northeast, and it has to do with the cold coming down from the North Pole. That's usually high pressure, and the systems coming in off the Pacific, that's lower pressure. And that blizzard we had back down in Louisiana a month ago, that was only a 10-18 millibar low, but by the time it got to Ireland, it had deepened to 940. And I said, sooner or later, we're going to have these storms deepening closer to New England, and that is the case going forward for the next week. We're going to have not only the strong high-pressure systems as the one that's building across the east right now, and we're also going to have more powerful low-pressure systems. So you're going to have equally as strong highs, but much stronger lows, so the wind is going to get very strong in all of these systems coming at us. The worst of the wind looks like it's going to come in both Sunday night and Monday, and then again next Thursday and Friday. And let's start with the one that's on our doorstep right now. It's actually doesn't look like anything on radar right now, does it? But it's going to be another backside of a high pressure system coming in with a warm front coming over us tonight, but it's not going to make it through. So what we're going to have is a warm front setting up along the south coast, and let's put it into motion with the latest NAM 3K going through Sunday. And let's kind of fast forward a little bit through tonight, and that little lake effect band is going to disappear, and then all of a sudden here comes a growing area of snow in blue crossing the Hudson River Valley tomorrow at 4 p.m., arriving in Boston at about 6 p.m. It's snowing in almost all of Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Martha's Vineyard, Block Island, and Nantucket tomorrow night. And you see that sleet, the purple, staying just south of New England. This is an initial wave on a warm front that's going to go through here or just along the south coast tomorrow night. And then it's not until 6 a.m. on Sunday that the snow stops in Boston. So that's 12 hours of snow. That could be a half a foot of snow. And then the next low is going to come up into New York, and we're going to have low-level cold and upper-level warmth, and it's an overrunning situation that causes more heavy precipitation in the form of rain in southern New England, but inland, especially the Connecticut River Valley, it's going to be raining with a temperature in the 20s. That's a serious ice storm. We got to hope it's more sleet than rain, because rain glazes and it brings down branches, whereas sleet bounces and it does not glaze. But that purple goes right up to the Canadian border, all the way up to Jay Peak on Sunday afternoon. I don't think so. I think this is wrong. I think that's way too warm, sort of like setting up about 3 days ago for the one we just had yesterday, where it did not rain at Jay Peak. And I think that's probably going to be too far north. But you see at the end there's a 976 millibar low in western New York that's going to kind of jump to the Cape Cod area and go up along the Maine coast on Sunday night and Monday, and that's going to deepen pretty much to a bomb cyclone. And I'm going to show you that now in the Canadian guidance. And that's an incredibly powerful storm, so we may have some wind gusts in the order of 50 to 60 on Sunday night. Now I'm going to show you the Canadian, and watch the subtle differences. Now I'm going to show you this from a wide perspective of the lower 48. And there's our snow, and sleet is purple, and freezing rain is red. And watch how the low kind of jumps from western New York to Cape Cod, but the rain snow line does not go anywhere near as far north. So I'd say a good compromise will be something like Mount Snow to Sunday River for the mix, and points north mostly snow. And we're talking about probably 12 to 18 inches of snow north, and something like, 2 inches at the south coast to 6 inches inland covered with ice. And then that's the serious wind Monday night, and that's a 1040 something high out to the west. Record cold air is possible in the middle of the nation underneath that high. And otherwise, we have just insufferable wind chills here on Monday and Tuesday into Wednesday. And then here's where the plot really thickens for a storm that goes to benchmark and deepens almost explosively Wednesday night and Thursday. We showed you how cold it's supposed to be in Boston Thursday morning, and this low pressure system is ramping up through the 980s, down through the 970s, into the 960s. Oh my goodness. So most of the guidance has this thing at about a 970 millibar storm over the benchmark or just east of Nantucket on Thursday night, and this is Friday morning. That is close to blizzard conditions. If this verifies, that is a blizzard from the coast of Maine to Cape Cod on Friday morning. And we're talking winds of 50 to 60 miles an hour and a couple of feet of snow. Remember, that's the Atlantic Ocean, and you put such frigid air over the Atlantic Ocean. So this is a real high-ticket item, and all the global guidance had it last night with an average pressure of about 971 millibars. And the high pressure system to our west is about 1045 millibars. So we're looking at close to an 80 millibar gradient possible in the northeast a week from today into next weekend. Breathless. Taking them one at a time though. And after that, it looks like we do get a quieter pattern going into next weekend out to Sunday the 23rd, I think, February. And then I stop it there at 240 hours as we always do. And that doesn't look like much in Texas, does it? But there's quite a thermal packing there, and even though it's very warm in the northwestern United States and western Canada, we're still on the cold side of the front, and so that means probably something coming on the backside of that cold high, and that would be something around the 25th or 26th of February that could go rain or snow. But somehow we found a way to get more snow than anything around here. All right, that's the end of the weather part. And skiing yesterday and observing the weather yesterday was fascinating. So probably more than you ever want to hear about a weatherman obsessed with the changes hour to hour all day yesterday and chasing the afternoon snow and being shocked at 5 o'clock when it changed over to rain. And then down at the skating rink, I thought I was done with my outdoor weather and more, but then I met a family from Florida, and they were so nice, so I had to interview the family from Florida that had never seen snow before. I guess they weren't in the Panhandle last month, but so great making new friends and seeing old friends, and it's a travel day today, so I'm going to try and get this edited, write the new J blog, and we're going out a different door tomorrow, and even though you'll recognize the door, you won't recognize the backyard. Big changes in Weymouth. Stay tuned for more and more and more. Here's yesterday, February 13th. 8 o'clock, snowflakes just got a little bigger. That's good. That often is a sign, though, that we're getting warmer aloft, and sleet could be imminent. Will we get liquid? What's that noise bouncing? We've got some bouncies. So that would be a raindrop up in the sky, but it freezes in the lower level and it makes sleet. So just as we thought, those big flakes a few minutes ago. It's 8:04, 8:06. And I forgot to mention how much snow we got. We got probably about 2 inches last night. You still see the snowflakes mixed in. So snow and sleet, 8 a.m.
That's torturous to make us watch it.
And there are the people that got in line at 10 of 8. And Ken Forbes is one of them, of course. Oh, it's not Ken. Looks like Ken.
I'm usually here early, but today I had to go to the
big snowboarder.
And it's back to snow 5 minutes later. It's the most dense 2 inches of snow we've had in a while. Skis like yesterday or 2 days ago, 6.
You're good for now.
So what was happening at the top of Sensation?
Sensation was the windiest I've ever seen. Chairs were touching the terminal.
Wow. Well, we appreciate your work. Thank you. Running over easy. Lifts are just shutting down all around us. All right, I got 2. You got 1.
I got one.
And we have the first liquid precipitation since December 31st here at the base
Very sad.
of Spruce. That was a pretty good run. 45 days approximately today's the 13th. 44 days without any liquid precipitation. Not even 11 a.m. and the dendrites are back. It drizzled for like 5 minutes. The air is still coming from the south. Are we done? Was that it for the liquid precipitation? I almost don't even want to count it. It's way ahead of schedule. The dendrites are back. Is that it? Are we done with the 5 minutes of liquid precipitation we had this morning? Way ahead of schedule. Everything was ahead of schedule. Yes. Let's do it. 10:50 a.m. update. Even though the air is still coming from the south, dendrites have returned to northern Vermont. It actually did liquid drizzle for about 5 minutes around 9 o'clock. Clearly that's not happening anymore. It is almost like the eye of the system. Wind from the south, but colder aloft. So it looks like freshies and hopefully some of the lifts that were not open are reopening now. Wow. This was way ahead of schedule. Take it. 12:22 on this day of now casting in northern Vermont. The dendrites, they shrunk again a few minutes ago and now they're back. Good to see the over easy is moving. It seems so calm right now. Visibility is down below a half mile, so we've got moderate snow. Bring it. Taking the over. 116 calling the play-by-play. Oh boy. It's coming straight down. And thank you, Mountain Ops and everybody here. The Forerunner is spinning. It is a powder afternoon. Legs were already pretty burnt from the week, but there's always room for a little bit more and more and more and more. Wow. 2 o'clock's like a whole new day. And all the cars are covered with snow. It's coming down and the wind is gone. Now back down to some pretty small dendrites, some ice crystals, maybe a tiny sleet pellet or two, just after 2. And unlike the eye of a hurricane where there's sinking air and calm in the middle, in low pressure, and this is called a baroclinic, that means a mixture of warm and cold. At the center of the storm, the air goes up, so you get the precipitation continuing. And this is an old low pressure system that's going right over us, and it's including a new storm is developing on the Gulf of Maine coast of Maine. And so you have sort of cold air coming around on the north side, warmer air coming around on the south side of this old weakening low, and that's why the dendrites keep changing from big fatties, like with convection, cold air aloft, to perhaps a little warmer and a little sinking, and so on. It spins and spins, and then we're going into the cloud here at, I don't know, 2,600 feet or so, and all this fog is future snow, especially when you have Arctic air coming in and the lapse rates are going to crash. So colder air is now going to rush in over the top of the warmer air, opposite of how the day started. Everything's opposite of how the day started, except for got my boots and skis on, and we're going up the mountain. See how much wind there is up there, Danny. Almost zero air now, close to 4,000 feet, where this morning it was 50 to 60. How does that happen, Danny? Right at the center of the low, where the air is rising, it's between coming in from the south and coming around from the north. So it's a little lull between the southerly warm air advection and the northerly cold air advection. People ask me what trail I want to do, and I'll say, oh, hey, ride maybe. And then the other people say, hey, what do you want to do?
You gotta go where the powder is max.
Goat. Greatest of all time. Ski like a goat on goat. Goats are very good at hopping from rock to rock. Hop. And at least it's poofy. It's poofy. Whoa. There's a little narrow one. Danny's behaving like a goat. On goat. There's a narrow chute there. Why are the branches so close to the ground? Or perhaps the ground is closer to the branches. Ah, grasshopper. Let's go and take the path least traveled. This, and that. Let's see how deep it is. I can't go much farther than that, can I? So it's at least that deep. Zip line, anybody? There's somebody down there. I think he just went by us. Poof, poof. Are we allowed to ski the zip line? Oh, wrong way.
Midway.
That way.
I guess we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not going to be there until the flakes get 3 times this big. Another update. It's 2:47. Normally the octagon is open, but they probably didn't staff it today. And the wind just came around from, if not north, definitely west. And it'd be pretty much impossible to measure how much snow we got today. I would just have to rough estimate, I don't know, whatever's right over between these 4 picnic tables right here. I don't know when they cleaned this thing last. I'd say we've picked up about 5 inches with the tiniest little layer of not frozen H2O. Still expecting the fat flakes of the cold air advection. We just had a gust past about 30. Wind from the north now. Okay, now we're in the western eye wall, so to speak. All of a sudden we're at 50 just in the last 3 minutes. The Great White North. He wants to go down another one of the front 4. Just blow ourselves into star. What else do we see that's new today? This Danny and Star is the Rime frost. We haven't had Rime frost lately. Super cold water vapor touching a sub-freezing surface. And once again, we're below the wind, but winded. Hope you're having fun with this long video of the fascinating weather here up in the hills, mountains of Vermont. Star, poof. The fog is future snow. Certainly have a lot of future snow. Bring out this atmosphere. Look out. Go ahead, Danny. Look out. $3:30. Gotta have the legs. Low bridge. Can't see you. There you are. There he is. And 3 feet of pow. 3:52. I think we can milk it 8 more minutes. Lookout glade. And for the first time today, signs of sunshine. Looks like the sun's coming out down the valley as the cold air advection commences over our head. And the buds are swelling. Not yet. Look into the notch. Best visibility of the day. Tiny flakes. I think we're gonna get bigger ones again. Speaking about going big, let's see, Danny. Last exit, the last glade, the last run of the last, well, it's not the last afternoon. And he hits crossover airborne, because that's the way Danny rolls. Always a good day when you get back to your car and it has snow on it. Well, this is weird. This morning, it just drizzled for a few minutes. I was gonna say, okay, no rain, but guess what? We actually have raindrops now. So legit, the first raindrops of 2025 happening at 1,800 feet in the northern Green Mountains. Not at J that I know of, but I haven't verified that yet. We still get some overhead on T-Rex snow cover here, even though it's actually raining. How could we go from drizzle to those big fat flakes to raindrops at 4 p.m. The weather is unpredictable and utterly captivating. I guess that was a fake cold front earlier because we just had a couple seconds of rain. Now it's sleeting. Oh yeah, love that outfit and style. What's he wearing, the yellow?
No, in the blue.
Blue? Outfit of the day right there. Oh, who's that over there?
Bring Harry.
Harry? Is that your son? Hey, thanks a lot for saying hello right there. What's your name? Where you from?
My name is Alvin. I'm from Florida, and we got Harry and Feretta.
Harry and Feretta. Have they seen snow before?
Never.
Oh, so neat.
First time traveling for Harry on an airplane, and first time snow for him.
Well, nice to meet you. I'm so glad you picked here.
Yep.
You'll find yourself on Out the Door, Weather and More.
Sounds good.
With my cat and my dog and you and your family. What a day. It was blowing, it was snowing, then it drizzled for a few seconds, and then we had snow. This is the most interesting weather day we've had.
It is very nice.
And now it's going to blizzard overnight. Tomorrow morning it's going to be blowing sideways.
We came from shorts and t-shirts to 3 layers.
That's awesome. Well, it looks like you knew how to dress. Yeah, they changed it. Before there were boards, you couldn't do that. Speaking of rolling, why don't you roll it, piano man? How about a time lapse from Cape Cod and Weymouth? Gotta get a time lapse up here someday. Moon just past full, and there's a little blue sky.